Hi, and welcome to another episode of my Kyrgyzstan road trip. This episode, we're going to check out Ala Archa National Park, which is a beautiful place to visit when you want a little reprieve from the traffic and pollution of Bishkek. And it's only a short drive from the city, which was the perfect opportunity for me to get a taste test of what driving would be like. I got my car delivered that morning and headed to the park around 9 a.m. on a Thursday. The traffic leaving town was a little heavy, but not too bad. Once you get to the outskirts of the city, the drive is very easy. Also, as you're driving out of the city, the streets open up and are nicely paved. There's all these big, fancy high-rise apartments and tree-lined streets with lampposts. It's very nice. I was on cloud at 9 because driving was so much easier than I thought. If you saw my nuts and bolts video, you'll see I went into detail about the rental car. Even though I was very happy with my rental car and it held up great and I do recommend that company, I will say that the inside kind of smelled like a marrow bone and dust. And the other thing was that as soon as I started driving, the tire light was on. I called the guy and he insisted it was fine and that they had just checked the pressure. I said, okay, so it was not on when you brought it to me this morning? And he said, yeah, it was, but don't worry about it. I told him I was worried and he laughed. So that's the kind of relaxed approach they take to it. The light did eventually turn off, but when I turned on the headlights, it triggered a whole new slew of warning lights that remained on for the rest of the trip. Anyway, the park is about a 25-mile drive from the city. When you pull up to the park entrance, there's a big parking lot. It only cost 57 cents to park. The lot wasn't too full when I arrived, but when I left later that afternoon, it was very full. When you go into the building, there are self-service kiosks to buy your entrance ticket. I paid with my credit card and it only cost $2.29. I was thrilled with their pricing. There are also bathrooms in there that at a glance appear modern, but that's kind of where it ended. All of them had pee and toilet paper in the bowl, and the toilets there are not able to flush toilet paper, so you have to throw it in the trash, but apparently people either don't realize that or don't care. I closed the lid on one to flush it and the seat nearly came off the toilet, and the toilet's barely flush and the sink water doesn't come out strong. But despite all that, it's still better than a pit toilet that a lot of national parks have. Once you exit out the backside of the building, you'll find an area where there are electric buses to pick you up. The bus takes you about 10 kilometers to where little stores and cafes and trailheads are. I sat next to a very friendly Malaysian man in his 50s who was on a group tour with some women around his age. He kept joking that they were his girlfriends, and they all thought it was so funny whenever he said that. There were a variety of ages and nationalities hiking there, but two groups I noticed in particular were that a lot of locals seemed to go there for just walking or to have a picnic, and there were a lot of geriatric tourists. They're building like a ski lift right now. They have like a little park here. I don't know if that's normal, but it looks kind of precarious the way it's angled on that rock. Oh wow, I really look like a sporty geek right now. Whatever. I had to bring my laptop backpack because I don't have a hiking backpack, so I literally look like I have a briefcase on my back. So they have little signs. I just passed one for a bearded vulture, and this is for a red fox, and then it tells you in different languages. I have a buck yelp. It's cute. This tells you what it costs if you litter. Or no, it doesn't tell you what it costs. It tells you how long it'll take to decompose. I was like, wow, $400 is not expensive. I would be so excited if I saw a badger. I love badgers. So the beginning part of the walk is paved. So, I've seen people in sandals and stuff, so I think some people just come to walk this paved area maybe. Wow, that is really cute. It looks like a bunny. beaver thing. Powerful squeaks. It's cute. So we do have snow leopards here. Of course, it's rare. And then next to that, you have the map of the different trails and how long it takes, the elevation, all of that. It felt so good to be in nature and breathe in fresh air. I felt like I could finally take a deep breath in. And even though the weather was still warm and it was only early September, there was beautiful fall colors on display at the park already. Water's really rushing. And you have these beautiful fall colors on the mountainside. I feel like the camera's just not going to capture how pretty those pops of orange and yellow are on the hillside. I was trying to take the Ala Archa River Trail, which online looked pretty straightforward, but I was somehow not sure where the heck I was going. I followed the paved road until it turned into gravel, but I was not seeing anyone else go on the gravel trail. I went back and forth for a bit trying to see if I missed a trailhead somehow, and I was checking my maps, but I decided eventually to just start walking on the gravel trail. When I started on the trail, I did end up seeing a couple of other people, so I figured I must be on a real trail. I don't know if it was my intended one, but I just walked until I felt like turning around, which was after about 2.8 miles. So they have the occasional trail marker. Although this trail is pretty obvious. I did start kind of wandering in that rock area, but then I saw these Australian senior citizens and I just followed where they were walking. Look at all these pretty puffy flower things. The river down there. Beautiful mountains. It feels so good to be out in the fresh air. The smog was so bad this morning. So you come up this little incline, and then it opens up into this beautiful view, and the river is visible again. You could definitely hear it the whole time. It's very powerful sounding. Scary! This part of the trail is a little bit boring. Can't really see the river, and it's like a lot of brush and rocks. Wow, the foliage is so pretty. It's literally hot as hell, but it's like all fall colors. It's so nice. So we're getting more of a incline here. It's not too bad. Looks like it goes maybe up a little bit more. Ooh, there's the river. Okay, so if you were to not cross the bridge, you can see the trail. These guys, I passed them when I crossed back over to check out that side, and then ended up coming back over here. But I read that that one is pretty it's kind of hairy. Maybe it looks bigger when you're on it. It looks pretty narrow. My trail is pretty wide. Maybe I spoke too soon. It's getting kind of brushy here, but it looks like it opens back up ahead. I hope. Getting closer and closer, and there's like a waterfall there. I think I might turn around now though. Okay, I've gone, boy oh boy, that's bright. Anyways, I've gone 2.8 miles and I think I'm gonna turn around now. I get FOMO and I'm like, what if it keeps getting prettier? What if there's like a turn up ahead and then it's like opens up and is so beautiful, but it actually looks like it's getting more rocky the farther along you go. And I have work to do, so if I didn't have like work and other things to do, I'd probably just like keep walking. I don't know. But I probably shouldn't anyways for my ankle. I basically had the trail to myself the whole way, but when I turned around, I encountered a ton more people coming my way. So I was really glad I got there early and turned around when I did. FYI, I did have cell signal for almost the entire hike, and hiking as a solo female, I felt very safe and didn't encounter anyone that gave me sketchy feelings. I'll tell you that every hike I did in Kyrgyzstan, I came across at least one, sometimes multiple other female solo hikers. I had a wonderful day at Ala Archa, and if you're in Bishkek and want a break from the city, I highly recommend you visit this national park. It's so easy to get to, it's beautiful, so why not check it out? Next time, we are hitting the road and heading to the first destination of my road trip, Barskoon, where I did a horseback ride that I thought was going to end my life. So stay tuned for that. If you're liking this series so far, please give this video a thumbs up and make sure you hit subscribe and notify so you know when more videos come out. See you next time.